I want to share with you what Jesus did for me. In 2005, I was running restaurants, and one night after a really hard night, I told God that if He was really real, to do something with my life. I challenged Him. We'd been fighting for 2 years, probably longer if I want to be honest, but we'd really been fighting for about 2 years, trying to do it my way, trying to do it His way, like just everything. And I got home and got on my knees and I said, if you're really real, do something with my life. Do something with somebody like me. He said, move back to Colorado. Move from Colorado to Arizona. I said, I don't want to live in Arizona. It's hot. The next morning I got up and I packed and I moved back to Arizona. I moved in with my parents. I hadn't lived with them really since I was 17. My dad and I made up for everything real and everything imagined that we had against each other because you see, God decided to save him around the same time. I applied for restaurants, I applied for managers, I applied for waiting jobs, and nothing. And I'm out digging ditches with him and helping him do his propane stuff. And we're listening to the radio. And they said they needed help at a camp with kids. And my dad said, you should go do that. I said, nobody in their right mind wants me working with kids. That's a bad idea. He said, apply. He's like, God shut every other door. He said, see what he does with this one. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'll fix you and I'll fix God. Watch this. So I put pen to paper and I shared my testimony for the first time. I hung out with bangers, did all of the stuff to self-medicate, everything. Went in the Marine Corps to get away from everything, came back angrier after I got out, all of it. I was a 33-year-old prodigal child. And this man calls me back and he says, you're exactly what I've been praying for. I was like, what? He said, I'm looking for men who know what these kids have been through. I can teach you the Bible. He said, but your heart, you're sold out to Christ, and I want you. So I went and worked a weekend and checked it out, and they checked me out, and I fell in love with these kids. And to be honest with you, I thought nobody in their right mind would want me working with kids, and I don't like kids. I didn't think that I would be good at this. But something changed. And that summer, I was a camp counselor. And I got to work with these amazing young men and women, and I got to show them the love of Christ. That summer, I met my wife. In 2006, a year later, we got married. We went on to go run a group home for kids for a little while. We had our first child. We came back to run the camp, had our second child, all the while helping kids by planting seeds that Jesus actually loves you enough that he did the unthinkable. Fast forward a little bit. 11 years ago, we ended up at this place where I get to be a dad to boys, and I get to show young men how to become men. Somebody like me. If that's not a God story, I don't know what is. But I get to work with these young men, and I get to help draw them to being better fathers, better husbands, better God chasers than me. If God can use somebody like me over the last 19, almost 20 years to glorify the kingdom, imagine what he can do with you. Stop playing games with God. Get right. Sit down. Figure out what it is that you need to do on the inside to work on. Open up those places inside of him that'll let him draw those things out so that he can chisel away at the hard parts of your heart so he can remake your heart so that you can be a better steward, a better ambassador of the kingdom than what you currently are. My challenge to you is 2025 is coming. Are you ready for the Savior? I love you. If you need to talk, I'm here.